She's a mama, a wife with a story to share. Write over coffee, find hope and repair. From heartbreak to healing, through Christ she's free. Your past don't define you, be who you're meant to be. Write over coffee, where healing begins.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth and I'm Write Over Coffee. So today's podcast is going to be kind of different and just a little sentimental and a little touchy in some subjects. So again, I've got my trusty handy notebook. Only my husband and my kids will know that reference. So today's podcast is about when you feel replaced but you're still here. And that is a lot to carry whenever we're going through something and whenever we are typically in or out of a relationship, or it's just a lot. So welcome to Write Over Coffee. Again, thanks you guys for joining me today. I'm super excited because this is the one where you may feel replaced. You may feel like you were forgotten. Maybe you're going through a season of divorce. Maybe you're going through a season of lost relationship. Maybe it's an unknown situation that you just had no clue how and why and all the what ifs. And now you're sitting here thinking, did I even matter? Do I even feel significant? What did I do wrong? And how are they okay? How are they okay? And I'm not. I don't know about you, but I ask that question a lot to myself when I'm not able to talk to that person, or it's a season that ended, and it's a really rough question, and then it gets us stuck in our head and stuck in our mind, and then how do we get it unstuck? And it's just this whole unending loop that just keeps going and going and going, and we can't even get out. It's kind of like those cul-de-sacs that have the roundabouts, and you're going around and around and around and around, and eventually you can get out. Which way do you go? So I want to sit here with you guys and just take this moment and take this time as we talk about this and let you know that you're not crazy. You're just human. The quiet pain of feeling replaced can feel that you can't see it on the outside, but it's so loud on the inside. And it's the pain of being left behind. It's the pain of watching someone move on. It's the pain of feeling like your place is being replaced, and maybe you are just so insignificant, and it's just a matter of, how did this happen? That is the hardest part to sit in. That is probably the most uncomfortable place to be in. But I need you to listen, and I need you to hear me. I know that sometimes it's hard for people to give us advice, and it's hard for people to kind of step in our shoes, and just know that their decision is not your definition. And let me just say that again. Their decision is not your definition. It wasn't meant for you to be defined. That part. It's just not. Just because someone walked away doesn't mean you were unworthy of staying. It doesn't mean that at all. However, then it shifts into how pain starts rewriting our identity. Oof. I don't know how many times that I've stopped and I've thought, did I cause this? Did I do something wrong? And then I get stuck in that, and so it starts rewriting me, because I start rethinking and I start replaying, and the trauma of my past, maybe I'm putting it in the future present or the future later. And pain has a voice. And if we're not careful, it starts telling us things that aren't true. It starts making us believe things that are completely not true, completely not there, completely not meant for us to really feel in that moment. It just distorts our thoughts. It's the enemy, and it's ourselves. It's looking in the mirror, and we're telling ourselves, because we're our own worst critics. And this is what it's telling us. You're not enough. You were easy to replace. You didn't matter as much as you thought. And when we sit in these distorted thoughts long enough, we just don't feel hurt. We start to feel that insignificance. We start to feel like the truth of these lies are what is. And that's where we have to just pause and breathe. Because the pain is so loud, but not always honest. This pain that we have inside of us because of what's going on, it's not always honest. It's not. And I just want to remind you that. You can be deeply loved and still be left. You can just be in the moment and just be hurt. That doesn't define you, friend. It doesn't define your worth. It doesn't define your value. By all means, it's just not. When we're in that moment of that pain is so loud, that's when it gets dangerous, because that's when we make decisions in our pain. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty guilty of that. And what is that saying? I would rather react and then apologize later. I know there's a real big saying on that. I've done that plenty of times. And how did that work out for me? It didn't. It really didn't. When it feels this way, you want the relief. And let me tell you, how many times has someone made you so upset and you reacted again and then you apologize later, because it's easier to do that, and it's not healing. It's just a momentary relief. So what do? Here's where the distorted thoughts start to say, maybe I should have walked away from everything. I should just give up, sell everything. Don't even worry about it. I'm just done. I think my husband probably has a notebook like this of how many times I've said I was done. He probably does. I ain't gonna lie. Because when it got too much and the pain was too hard, I said, I'm done. I'm done. 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 Do you do that? Have you said that? Or maybe if I change everything, I won't feel this way anymore. Maybe if I just move out of state, maybe if I just change everything in my life, it'll all go away. Again, that's just a momentary relief of it. Because did you really want to do that? Did you really want to change everything? Did you really want to stop? Big decisions in deep pain often creates bigger regrets later. So that decision that you made because you were in so much pain, you're going to regret that later. Because in the pain, we get so wrapped up in the pain, we slide it under something, push it away, sit on it, and and then it creeps up. Something might trigger you, and then you're gonna be like, man, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just sat still. I should have just been quiet. I should have. You don't have to rebuild your entire life today. Take some time. Write it out in a journal. Look, I have a journal. If you're a techie like my friend, she probably writes everything on her iPad or her iPhone. I'm not that techie. I like to write everything out, and then my hand feels like spaghetti. But I'm telling you, friends, just please take a moment. You don't have to make a decision right then and there. And now in some circumstances you kind of do, right? I mean, if you're going through a divorce, even then the lawyers take time, right? So you take time. So if you have a situation that somebody hurt you or you hurt somebody, take the time to rethink, gather your thoughts, write it out, think about what you're going to say, and then maybe, just maybe, when you give it a few days, a few weeks, come back, talk about it, and see if it's the time to make a decision on it. I'm guilty of making really big decisions in pain and regretting them right after. Just breathe through the moment if you can. And you're still needed. And this is for parents. This is for the parent like me. When I had a child and I had to share custody, it was super duper hard. For 12 years, it was super duper hard. I want you to hear this very clear, that you may have think that you've lost something and everything, but you didn't lose your purpose. That was really hard for me to hear in the moment of everything, because I felt like I had failed and my kids were hurting. I was hurting. I felt like I lost everything, even though I had other children, and even though I had a husband, and even though I had things, I had a dad, I had friends, but I still felt alone because I didn't feel like I felt like I lost everything when I had to share custody, and it was super hard. But you still have a purpose. Your child doesn't need your perfection. They just need you to be present with them. Whether you're still making mistakes or not, they just need you to be present. That was the one thing my kid told me was, Mom, I don't need you to be perfect. I don't need you to have the answers. I don't need you to make decisions. I just need you to be present. And that defined him. That helped define him. That helped him in his pain of going back and forth. It truly helped him. Even in our pain, even in our healing, you can still matter to somebody. And that can't be replaced. Friend, it can't be replaced. So I just want you to know that they still need you. They just need you to be present. Healing doesn't happen automatic. Rebuilding is very slow. It happens in small, quiet decisions. Getting up when you don't want to, going to work when you're just so engulfed in pain and unworthiness and that you can't do it. Choosing not to make a permanent decision because you're in pain. You don't have to prove your worth to anybody except for God and yourself. And sometimes those lines get crossed because we are our own worst critics, and we don't want to give that to God. We don't want to share our shame with him. We don't want to share our repentance with him. Friend, he already knows. And that's the biggest guilt for me, was I was too ashamed to talk to God. I was too ashamed to let him know. He already knew it. He just needed me to tell him so he could just honestly take it, even though I couldn't feel it in the moment. You just have to start remembering to take a step little by little. It's all you have to do, friend. It's all you have to do. I know sometimes when we are in this place of disbelief, unworthiness, being replaced, then moving on, you're sitting here in the middle of your house, looking around, and it's super quiet. That's when it hits the hardest. When it's super quiet, those are when the moments start creeping in, those triggers, those thoughts. And if you're anything like me though, I love music. So I will put on my music and I will jam out, and I will jam out enough to where it gets me off my booty and just start dancing and singing out loud. And then I can start my day. Because when we're sitting here and it's in the moment and it's super quiet, it creeps in. It's completely crept in. It's like you're sitting here and thinking, I can't hear him. I don't see him working inside of me. Where is he? But let me tell you this. He is right there. He is right here. But that pain noise is so loud, we can't hear him. It doesn't mean he's changed his place. It doesn't mean he's gone. God is still with you, but that pain is too loud. That anger is too loud. That bitterness is too loud. That pettiness is way too loud. It's way too loud. Once it calms down and quiets, and then you hear him. And remember, I've said this before, sometimes I don't hear God in the word. Sometimes I will listen to a worship song, or I'll watch TV, or I will get on the phone with my friend and we'll just start talking, and they have something that they're going through and it may be similar to mine. And then God's like, see, I got you. But you were so loud you couldn't hear. But I was still here. I was sitting there, right next to you. I meet you in your mess. I meet you in your place. I meet you in your storm. Sometimes pain gets so loud, like I say, and I keep repeating myself because it's just so overwhelming and overpowering that it's just too noisy. It's too much. So can I ask you a question? What's so loud in your life right now that's causing you to think that you're not worth it, that you're not enough? What's so loud that you think you don't matter? Because you do matter. So if you're sitting in your pain and you're sitting here and you're wondering if God can hear you and why you can't move on, it's going to be harder for you to understand your understanding unless we just give it up. And for most of us listening, I can tell you that I am broken. I've done some things in my past, and I've had to apologize. I've had to regroup because I made decisions in my pain that I totally 100% regret. And then I had to remember that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I had to slowly realize that there was some things in my past that was seeping into the present, and it made me feel more broken and more powerless, and where I felt like I needed to do it all, and I really in reality didn't need to do it all. And where God is, God meets you where you are. He came for the brokenhearted. He came for you and me. He didn't come for the perfect. He didn't come for the most religious. He didn't come for them. He came for the brokenhearted, the one that was hurt, the one that sinned and was crying out to him, forgive me. It's so hard. And I want to ask you, how's your way working? How is it working out for you? Is it making you better? Is it making you happier? Is it making it difficult to be around other people? Is it making you powerful to keep on with the petty and to keep on with the bitter? Or do you feel like I'm done? When you get to that done, just remember, you're still not less of a person. You're human. You're absolutely 100% human. And we can get past it. You can get past it. It's going to take time. Because those emotions that you're going to have to figure out, those are the ones that you're going to have to talk to yourself and remind yourself that you're worthy. You're a good person. You're a good mom. You're a good dad. You're a good friend. Your past doesn't define you, whether your past was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or 5 minutes ago. You can always make it right. Now, is it going to be harder for that other person to see it? Absolutely. But you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. So let's be clear about that. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you and your growth and your joy again. And you can get there. It takes time. Just like when we parent our kids, we tell them when they make a mistake, but they still feel it, but they have us to help them through that feeling. You can find your resources too. There's coaching, there's therapy, there's podcasts, there's books. Find something that you're comfortable with. A journal. Love my journals. So again, if you're feeling like this spoke to you on being replaced, forgotten, erased, you don't matter, feeling like somebody else stepped in your shoes, That's a truthful one. Please hear me. You did matter, and you do matter. And you still do. Your story didn't end just because that chapter did. It's actually starting, restarting. You can do this. And there's purpose and hope. There's purpose in everything that we do, right? We find the purpose once we can calm ourselves down. Once we can cause that pain loudness to calm down, we can find it. So I hope that this helps in some way. I hope that you understand that you're not the only one going through this. There's a lot of us that have gone through it. We've conditioned ourselves to be so quiet because we don't need people to see that pain. We need to still be strong. We need to feel strong. We need to. It's okay. You're human. But let's stand up and let's put a step forward to the right thing. Thank you for joining me. This is Write Over Coffee. I'm Elizabeth. You're not alone in this. If this spoke to you, please share it with somebody you met. You never know, they may need it today. And if you feel alone, get on my website, elizabethkgreen.com. I would love to walk alongside you. I don't know you, and that's okay. Maybe that's what you need, somebody who doesn't know you. So again, thanks for joining. This has been Write Over Coffee.
Write over coffee, where healing begins.